you continue to promote fanaticism. But it's not the vision of the Quran, because Allah is very clear. Because there is a dangerous current always if you go to the extreme. Always, you will never accommodate the other person or group on the basis of their difference, and for you to have a sense of actually tolerance. You will never. There is no actually person or group of persons who promote actually fanaticism or extremism that will ever have a sense or a culture of tolerance. Because tolerance always disappears each time you go to extreme left or extreme right. And if there is any extreme, far north, east, please provide it. The third factor is that there is also a problem of unaddressed problem of the what I call deculturalized youth. In this country, and to make this worse, in this part of the country, in the northern part of Nigeria, we have failed to address the problem associated with what I call deculturalized youth. Let me give you some statistics you can understand. Just actually last month, the National Bureau of Statistics and the National Economic Planning and the Central Bank of Nigeria brought out a statistical figure that in Nigeria today we have 14.7 million youth that are unemployed as graduates. 14.7 million youth that are unemployed as graduates. Graduates here means graduates from secondary school up to university, according to statistics. And the National Bureau of Statistics warned the government and all those federal, state, and local government that all of them, with or without Boko Haram, they are sitting on a time bomb in Nigeria. Because you can classify, if you like, Boko Haram, oh, they are illiterate or they are uneducated, in Western education sense, blah, 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 blah. No. This statistics says those who graduate from secondary school up to university level, they are in the number of 14.7 million out of 160. In any country, when you allow the youth to be roaming about the streets endlessly and without any sense of actually hope or in a cycle of a sense of hopelessness and frustration, believe you me, you don't need any foreign intervention or foreign force to trigger or aid or convince. But then, this particular group of youth will not only move about endlessly and in a sense of frustration, but the worst thing actually is that they become ready-made recruits for those who want to actually manipulate them and use them and abandon them. And then at the end of the day, nobody goes back to find a way of repairing them. That's the danger. In mature democracies or politically advanced economies, they always have some social safety nets. We don't have those social safety nets. And politicians will use children of other people as youth, give them 10, 20, 50,000 naira during campaign, and then they also instigate them to actually fight, make, and kill, and destroy the property of their opponents. And then, when they get election and they are in office, they abandon them. What they expect them to do? They become ready-made recruits, and that's when the danger lies. So, apart from the problem of being unemployed, the graduates among them from secondary school to university are living in a sense of frustration. That's element number 2. And the worst thing actually is that the elite who use them and dump them at the end of the day do not know that one day the same act will be repeated by others and they will be used against them. So it will backfire on the same elite. So these are the time bombs. And the sooner we begin to address them, the better for us, because there is no sense having actually this kind of population in that context. And I would like actually, to run up actually by saying one other issue that we need to address, has to do with the paradoxes actually of Nigeria. Nigeria is full of paradoxes. We are in a country where we are the second biggest economy in Africa, and we are the largest producer actually of oil in Africa, and we are actually among the fastest growing economies in the world, but the growth is in poverty. And the growth is not also creating wealth for the majority. And the reason actually for that is one of the paradoxes. That we continue to have an economy that is always, tied. Nigeria is a land of poverty in the midst of plenty. That you have over 70% of Nigerians actually are living in extreme poverty. when it is actually a rich country endowed with over 9,000 natural resources and 34 natural resources confirmed to be conventional quantity. And you're surprised to know, out of these 34 solid minerals ranging from gold, bauxite, diamond, etc., 62% are going to be solid minerals, 62% of these solid minerals, that are of conventional quantity 34 are located in the northern part of Nigeria. And yet, our governments are not making any effort to create actually base for investment, nor are they putting their resources together to invest in the natural resources that they have. And the oil and gas is going to dry out, whether we like it or not. The World Bank is actually begging Nigeria last 2 weeks that please, Almighty God, please Nigeria, do not waste your natural resources, especially the oil and gas money that you are getting, because you are not investing or reinvesting it back to the economy. That is actually a danger for us. And in conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I would like to challenge our Ph.D. research candidate that in the course of his research on this actually topical issue, he should also help us address some of these challenges. One, the challenge of addressing the impact of ethno-religious conflicts in Nigeria on the society and on the internally displaced persons. Because each time we're talking about violent conflicts, we rush as government and local, federal, and state level with humanitarian relief materials given to the people, and then we don't go back to actually see how they can return safely or they can actually be reintegrated back into society, and we abandon the displaced persons. And we continue to displace citizens actually from all these conflicts over the years, and yet nobody actually takes care or is interested in knowing the negative impact of violent conflicts on the displaced persons. The second actually challenge I would like the sector to also help us identify in this research work is the challenge of addressing the negative role of the media in conflict situations. The media is a very powerful tool, and they are actually one of the strongest weapons that you can use to promote the culture of dialogue, the culture of tolerance, and the culture of peace. But the media practitioners themselves have allowed themselves to be used instead of for knowledge and for qualitative information and for investigative journalism. They allow themselves to be used and manipulated by the elite class in Nigeria in very poor and negative reports on conflict, or at times they report on sensationalism, or at times they report without considering their facts, and at the end of the day, they themselves fuel the recurrent violent conflicts in Nigeria. So that is one big challenge that we have that we need to address. So we hope your research will also help us to identify the challenge of addressing the negative role of communication or of the media in conflict situations in Nigeria. And finally, I did propose in my presentation the way forward to peace in Nigeria, and I said we must address governance issues. You can't be promoting bad governance. That's what we're promoting, bad governance, especially in northern part of Nigeria. You promote bad governance because you allow corruption to continue to dig and get deeper and deeper in the way we run government. So one of the way forward, if we must actually promote a sustainable peace in this part of the country, is that we must address the issue of bad governance in northern Nigeria. And it's time bomb for us, and whether we like it or not, we must address it. Otherwise, let me give you an example why there is bad governance is more prevalent in the north of Nigeria. I said when we were coming in with the other speakers that look, the entire northeast, northwest, north central put together, economy-wise, controls only the world in the banking, insurance, and capital sector of the Nigerian economy. Only 3%, the entire northwest, north central, and northeast put together as the north. We control only 3% of the wealth in the banking, insurance, and capital sector. The southwest alone, the Yorubas, control 62.5%. in these three sectors of the economy. They are ones with all the banks, and they are ones with all the branches, and when they have their own people, they bring them to the branches, and for the rest of us, you serve as a cleaner, you serve as a gatesman, and then you serve as a clerical officer. Why should they invest in their money? Everybody is still in government in Nigeria, all these years. But most of the people still, they invest in industries, they invest in the success of the economy, they invest in banking, in insurance, and they create